Noise department.
You have to be exquisitely good at your job to brew the most mediocre beer on earth. And again, that's Coors Light, that's Miller Lite, any of those super mega huge brands. Outside of this country, Asahi, same difference. Anything when you're doing just thousands of gallons of this stuff all the time. You have to be so good at your job to produce something that I really don't want to drink. It's ironic.
This is Thirst Trap, a beverage industry podcast. And I'm your host, Tracy Bradley. Well, Happy New Year, everybody. I hope you all had safe and happy holidays. I'm very excited for our first guest of the year. He's my friend, Matt Brady. He's the owner and co-founder of Astronomy Ale Works here in Las Vegas. Hey, Matt.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. Tell me about how you decided to get your own brewery.
Like beer, had time, and friends with money. So I had some money, and my dad chipped in, and my cousins who run a company out in Chicago and New York, they run a web development company, and sounded like a fun thing to do.
I met you for the first time in 2018 in the spring downtown beer festival.
I remember
in that
it.
Big canned ham white tent thing that they had us in.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was pouring next to you, and I was so excited.
Yeah,
and
that was
at
cool.
the time, I couldn't really drink beer, so I had to just sip it and spit it because I couldn't have any carbonation at that time. But yeah, I was just thoroughly impressed, and we've stayed in touch through the years, and you just have some really exceptional beers there, Matt.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, that was a good time. I remember that fest very well. That was one of our first professional events.
Yeah, so I didn't even know that you were a thing, and
No, technically we weren't.
Right, you weren't at that time, and then I was excited because at the time I was working for Johnson Brothers, so I was always trying to get beers, especially local breweries, in under our umbrella. That didn't work out, but that's okay because you and I stayed friends.
Yeah, Johnson Brothers had the chance to sign us for distribution. I was working with Scott Seals at the time a bit.
Yes.
And he came out, and whoever his boss said maybe in the new year. Mm-hmm. And then I started working with an old friend of mine, Russell Gardner, who eventually became an employee of mine. And now he owns and operates Red Dwarf and Fat Cat.
Yes.
He's extremely successful with those. But he was working for Nevada Beverage. Yes. They signed me, and I've been with them ever since. Very happy with that business relationship. Russell no longer is there, but
Yeah, Russell's doing his own thing, but Russell has been mentioned numerous times on this podcast because he's a friend, and we'll have him on here eventually when he's done opening up new bars,
right?
I guess, and has some time to slow down a bit and have a conversation with me with a microphone.
Yeah, no, he's a great dude, old friend of mine.
Awesome. So tell us about the brewing style and things. What separates Astronomy from everybody else?
Oh, I don't know if there is a hell of a lot that actually separates us from everyone else, because there just really aren't that many breweries in Southern Nevada. We're just a small brewery, Southern Nevada. We're in the same building as another brewery, Craft House, and right across the way from a third brewery, Bad Beat. They opened up in the Booze District about 9 years ago, and we've been open for a little over 5. We just make beer. We don't have a house style. We don't have a particular way of doing things that's different than anybody else. But we make damn fine product.
Yes, you do.
And we like drinking, and we like going out to the places that support us, and we like supporting people who support us. But no, I mean, the state of beer in Vegas right now, there just aren't that many breweries. We've had more breweries close in the last few years than open. So
I saw that. There's a couple downtown that closed already.
Yeah, everybody's facing a rent issue. Banger closed because of their rent. Gordon Biersch closed because of their rent. And I think we're going to find more of that just coming along. Property values are going up, not down. And I just don't see that changing anytime soon. Meanwhile, we are facing increased costs and have been ever since 2021.
Absolutely.
Yeah, everybody's rent is going way up. I mean, it was a few percent a year up until this year, where it was a little over 60% for us. It's tough. I mean, so support your local breweries. I mean, a lot of people I talk to will say, "Oh man, we love your stuff. Do you guys still make whatever beer?" It's like, no, we haven't made that beer in 4 years. Oh, I should get out there. And yeah, you should get out there because we really need your support right now. Everybody does. Tenaya Creek just sold, and they've got a fantastic new owner with Chris Jacobs. But yeah, everybody needs your support right now.
So you and Chris had some kind of a competition going last week?
Oh, not really. It was just a joke. We bet the breweries on the Seahawks Eagles game. He's an Eagles fan. I'm a Seahawks fan. So we made a video where we bet the brewery. We haven't done the revenge yet because yeah, I was kind of a little out of it the past couple days, and he was pretty busy. But yeah, I mean, we didn't actually bet the breweries on a football game. That would be stupid. But but it's a fun thing. I did that earlier this year with Nathan Hall, good friend of mine. He's the owner of Bad Beat, and I was just at where was I? I was at the Circa Sports Book pool with some friends of mine, somebody I do some work with, and the Seahawks were playing the Cowboys preseason. And I said, "Hey, pink slips on the breweries?" And he's like, "Yeah." And so the joke was that now I own Bad Beat as well. So technically I own 3 breweries. But no, it wasn't a real deal. So now we're gonna make the video about how the bet was null and void for some reason or another. We're not sure what we're gonna do yet.
There's a loophole.
Yeah, there was a loophole. Yeah, we're not sure what that loophole was, but there's going to have been a loophole.
Well, that video was epic.
Yeah, thanks. Our mutual friend Tony got to be in it. Tony has been on this podcast. He's an employee of mine. He works for me on Sundays. Come out and see him and watch football with him. Detroit Lions fan. Good dude.
Would love that.
Yeah,
would love for people to come out and watch
he
football
would.
with him.
He's a great guy to watch football with. I met him at Tenaya Creek, God, 7, 8 years ago, just drinking next to him. And now we're friends and he works for me.
It's funny. Tenaya Creek is how I met Tony.
Yeah, it's a great joint. I'm really glad that they found their way through and that Chris bought them out, and he's going to be a fantastic owner for them. Beer Zombies is a huge deal around the country, so that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm now learning just how big of a deal they are. I didn't know much about them before. I didn't know that they also own Skinny Fats.
No, they don't.
Oh, they don't.
They don't own Skinny Fats. They work with Skinny Fats. They don't own.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't know. I just knew that I saw a tap room like off of Dean Martin, I believe.
Yeah, that's in a Skinny Fats as well as the one on Warm Springs. And the one in Salt Lake is tied to Skinny Fats. They're tied together, but they're not owned by.
Oh, gotcha. That. Okay. Yeah. So you see my confusion there.
Oh yeah, no, it's easy to get confused, but a lot of people do. The rumors around this business are insane. It's pretty funny why people think what happens, and it has nothing to do with it.
Right. It's just the way it is.
Yeah. People don't know how the sausage is made and everything, and when they find out, they get bored real quick. And it's not glamorous or at many times even interesting. Like one of the questions I get on podcasts is like, "What's your favorite style of beer to brew?" And like, it's all the same. It doesn't taste the same, but it's the process. There is no more, "Oh, the IPAs are so much more fun to brew than stouts," because you do the same thing. It's the fun part is in tasting beers and drinking beers with friends and coming up with what you want to brew, then brewing it and going, "Wow, that was good." But yeah, it's a lot of the stuff. It's just, you do the same things no matter what the beer is. More or less grain, fewer hops, different ingredients, but all the processes. When you cook, it's completely different. Making soup is different than making a roast. Totally different. Not so with beer.
Right.
It's all the same.
So a question that I ask all of my guests.
Sure.
What was your gateway beer?
First beer I ever had was a Coors Light. That was in Georgetown University with a friend. I didn't drink because I have a family with a history of alcoholism. So I listened to what they told me in high school and was convinced I would become a alcoholic after my first drink, and I wasn't. And then I was like, I didn't trust anything else they told me in high school. Why the hell did I trust that? Otherwise, into craft beer, there wasn't really a gateway. I grew up in the Northwest, which was one of the few locations where that was a big deal, like Seattle, San Diego, Denver, a couple places in the Northeast and stuff. Real hotbeds of craft beer very early on. So this is like late 90s, early 2000s. So there wasn't with my mind, there wasn't a separation between the two, between
Okay.
craft beer and macro brew. It really was. So I didn't have a gateway or anything. It wasn't like I was like, wow, Bud's okay. Oh, this beer is so much better or anything like that. No, I just drank it all. So I drank a lot of the local brands up there. It was Red Hook. Red Hook's still a brand. They closed the facility that was by my house though, up in Woodinville, Washington. Pyramid. Both those brands have been sold and I think resold again. Like Pyramid, I think sold to Budweiser, and then somebody bought them out of Budweiser. Those things didn't mean anything to me though when
Right.
they were happening. That matters a lot to me now. And it kind of sucks because, like there's a lot of people who just want to drink beer and they don't really know why we care where the money goes because they don't care where the money goes. And it's kind of legit in a way. I mean, that's a lot of things, if you really investigate where the money goes, like let's say you want to ship a package with a company, you find out what the CEO's political beliefs are. You disagree. What, are you not shipping a box anymore? So with beer, it's like, oh, well, Anheuser-Busch owns this beer and they do mean things to puppies but they give money to these guys. So, you're really going to be that political about it. I absolutely am with my beer. I don't drink Coors products. I don't drink Miller products very often, but if I didn't know anything, I don't think it would really bother me that much. So I can't really hold other people to that kind of standard of craft beer versus macro brew, especially since they've done such a horrible good job of disguising it by buying up all those brands. So I mean, I know a lot of people tell me, "Oh, Goose Island is so much worse since they got bought out." No, it's not. It's the same. It's still good. It's still good beer made by a lot of the same people. It tastes the same. And yeah, that's unfortunate for us because, it makes our jobs harder. It makes us harder to exist. But good beer is still good beer.
Well, me as a consumer, this is what I'm noticing, right? Like, yeah, they could be brewed by the same people and this, that, and the other, but I just feel as a connoisseur, if you will, that I really appreciate a smaller owned brewery because it's like it's made with love,
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
then
I
it's
agree.
not mass produced and all of these things. And I mean, in the beverage industry, we get that a lot with wineries, when small wineries are that
Hmm.
are amazing and awesome and they get bought out by a big conglomerate and then it becomes the next big thing and it's mass produced.
Yeah.
Then people stop paying attention to detail.
Yeah, that can happen. But for instance, like a lot of people, knock, and again, I keep saying Budweiser. I don't have any issue with Budweiser necessarily, but I mean, and yeah, but
Well, you
uh,
you are distributed by Nevada
we're
Beverage.
just better. Yeah, exactly. So I'm not trashing Budweiser. Believe me, I'm not biting the hand that feeds. But they, for instance, there aren't for all the good beers you have in this city, like all the good beers, and you drink this. This is great. There are maybe 2 or 3 brewers qualified to brew for Budweiser. Because some of the best brewers I know, they don't have the resume to
Right.
go into that. So you have to be exquisitely good at your job to brew the most mediocre beer on earth. And again, that's Coors Light, that's Miller Lite, any of those super mega huge brands. Outside of this country, Asahi, same difference. Anything when you're doing like, just thousands of gallons of this stuff all the time. You have to be so good at your job to produce something that I would really don't want to drink. It's ironic,
I agree.
but yeah, no, it's
100%.
and and there's the sweet spots in there too. I was lucky enough to go up to Salt Lake City a couple months ago, and one of my former brewers brews up at Squatters Wasatch, and I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'm pretty sure Squatters Wasatch and Salt Lake on its own produces more beer than all of Las Vegas put together.
I
And
wouldn't doubt that. I've been in that facility.
Yeah, it's
I'm
huge.
friends with the guys in the brewery there. Fun times.
Yeah, it's
I sold
great.
that brand for a lot of years.
Yeah, and it's crazy. So I mean, even as you get bigger, there is still a lot of attention to detail. You're right. It can get lost, but fortunately on the craft end, it doesn't, and they do a great job. But yeah, that's insane. They don't. It's Utah. I was born there. They don't even like alcohol. The hell, they outproduce us.
Yeah, most people in Utah don't even like alcohol, but the people at Wasatch Squatters do.
Oh yeah, absolutely, they do.
100%. Yeah, just great people there. They're like family.
Yeah, no, they're yeah, and again, P. Wong, Patrick Wong, he's a great dude. He didn't want to leave Las Vegas. Well, actually, he very much wanted to leave Las Vegas, but didn't want to leave like any of his friends or the companies down here. And he had to go up there for various reasons with his family and stuff. But yeah, but that's always cool. It's good to have good people around the country that you know.
All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to add today?
Not really, other than just if you're local in Las Vegas, drink more local beer, please. Even if it's not mine, I don't care if it's not mine. Drink local beer. Not a lot of people are drinking local beer. It's a shame. I've been to various other beer markets in the country, and everybody has a lot of local pride. And in Vegas, we just don't. Part of that's, I think, because of the transient nature of the city. Not a lot of born and raised people here. I'm not born and raised. I've lived here 20 years, but that's less than half my life. And a lot of people are nostalgic for the things they had when they grew up, and they didn't grow up here. So it's like, oh man, I'm from Utah, and we had a good beer there. I'm from Colorado, and that's where all the good breweries are. And I'm from Washington, and that's where all the hops come from. So everybody's looking for something that doesn't come from here. And I think Vegas is doing a fantastic job with beer. You've got amazing brewers like David Pasquale up at Big Dogs. I mean, that guy's got more hardware than Ace. I mean, holy crap. He's got so many medals, especially for brewing Belgian ales. We enter Belgian ales just so I can hopefully get one, just to be like Dave, but it's going to take a lot of local support. I think Beer Zombies buying Tenaya Creek might help that, because they're going to bring a lot of people into the fold, which is really cool, because they're a lot of their clientele are people mostly from Los Angeles. And that's why I love doing their beer fests every year. You get a lot of people who come in from out of town willing to try all sorts of new stuff. It's great. So just drink local. Whatever you do, drink local. I don't care if it's astronomy or not, drink local.
But if you are here in Vegas,
I'm not telling you not to drink my beer.
Exceptional beers, please try Astronomy Ale Works.
Yeah, definitely drink my beer, but
your beer is amazing.
If I met you somewhere and I piss you off because I was drunk or said something crazy, that's fine. Don't drink my beer. It's cool. But drink local. For God's sake, drink local.
Yeah, I make a point to do that whenever I travel anywhere. I look up a local brewery and a local distillery.
Oh,
hopefully they have each of those. Typically, most places I go have a local brewery. Distilleries are a little harder to come by, but I've been very fortunate.
Yeah, not a lot of local here. Las Vegas distillery is about to open up again. In fact, one of my employees, Paige, she's our brewer's assistant. She also works up at North Fifth, and she's been a local bartender here for a long time. If anybody remembers Three Sheets, she was there for a long time. Great person. And it looks like she's taking a position over at the distillery too.
Oh, good. Okay.
Yeah, I knew she was interviewing with him because they interviewed him when I was over at 595. Coincidentally, go to 595 too. Great place. But she just took a video from there this morning of their forklifts. And, she took the job. Awesome. Yeah, she's still working for me, but
Well, you know what? That's okay. I mean, I know a lot of people that have more than one hustle.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know what? If that's what it takes to keep you happy, busy, or just financially stable, whatever the reason, there's no shame in that.
Oh, no, of course not. No, absolutely. I mean, everybody has 2 or 3 jobs. Kidding me?
Yeah, I've got a few hustles myself.
Yeah, no kidding.
All right. Well, thanks for stopping by, Matt.
Oh, thanks for having me. That was a great conversation. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. We'll see you next time.
All right.
All right. Thanks.
Thank you.
I'm Tracy Bradley, and that's the Thirst Trap Podcast, produced and edited by Gonzo Greg Spillane for Noise Department. Our theme music is composed and performed by Jose Torres. Please like and subscribe wherever you enjoy your podcasts and share with your friends and associates in the beverage industry or anybody who drinks things. You can always visit and contact me at thirsttrappodcast.com, and you can find links to all the socials there as well. Till next time, cheers.